Harnesses are for sled dogs. Wrong. I see that so much in people's comment sections when they're posting videos about harnesses. I see it in my own comment sections all the time. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Amy. I run Track and Trail Canine Outfitters, an independent dog shop in Dumfries in southwest Scotland. I offer harness fitting as a service here, and whilst I also do sell sled dog and pulling harnesses designed to make it comfortable and easy and safe for your dog to pull, also mainly sell a huge range of everyday dog harnesses, but the two harnesses are not the same. Dispelling that myth immediately, even a sled dog harness, a pulling harness like this, does not magically make your dog pull. Dogs need to be trained to pull into these harnesses. Let me show you the differences between the two harnesses and what makes a pulling harness versus what makes an everyday harness. Okay, let's start with pulling harnesses. This is a non-stop dog wear free motion 5.0 harness. This harness is designed for dogs who are doing pulling sports, so mostly canicross and bike jaw. And that is where the dog runs out in front of you and pulls you, and you wear a belt if you're doing canicross, or if you're bike jawing, you have a bungee line which is basically attached to the handlebars on your bike. The idea is that the dog pulls, you go faster. This type of harness is used on international competition level by top athletes. But let me show you the mechanics and why they are made this way. First of all, there is only one attachment point on this harness, and this is not it. The attachment point for your lead is actually here. It sits right at the back of the dog's tail. Your lead, your bungee line for these sports, is attached here. Now, if we look at how this makes the harness move, when the dog puts this under pressure from here, the harness moves down and around. So I'll do that again, so hopefully you can see how it moves. So when I pull from here, what's happening is the direction of pull is going up and around the dog's rib cage into here. It's not coming from here. It's not coming from here. If we were to pull from here, it would pull the harness up and restrict the dog's windpipe. When they are doing pulling sports, we want the windpipe totally unrestricted. So this is why the pulling point is further back and the mechanics of it work like that. This is super structured. And what you'll find is when it's not under pressure, when your dog is walking normally, these tend to bunch up like that. They're not designed to be everyday harnesses, so they will sit like that when they're not under pressure. So that, if that happens to you, perfectly normal. So that is a designated pulling harness. So when people are talking about sled dog harnesses, this is the type of thing they're talking about. Let's have a look at how an everyday harness is totally different to this. This right here is a Twiggy Tags adventure harness. Now this is a really lovely, comfortable everyday harness. And what these are designed for is to keep your dog secure, safe and comfortable and allow you to walk your dog normally on an everyday basis without putting pressure on their neck. You'll notice that the attachment point on this harness, the main attachment point, is on the back here. So when we attach the lead onto here, when your dog pulls on this harness, it pulls from here. It pulls upwards into the neck and the chest. What I look for in everyday harnesses like this one is that they are non-restrictive when it comes to the dog's freedom of movement. So I want the dog's shoulders and their front legs to be able to move freely without being restricted, which is why I don't recommend harnesses like the Julius K9 that have that band that goes across the chest. Those are pretty awful harnesses. They're very restrictive. They inhibit the dog's natural movement, and it really isn't something that I would ever recommend that you put on a dog. Another feature of this harness is that it has a grab handle, which is really handy, especially if you've got a dog who's perhaps nervous or reactive and likes to lunge, or a dog who's not very well socialized and thinks that they can jump up and greet and say hello to every single person and dog that they meet. You might want something that you can grab hold of to just restrain them now and again. So having a handle on there is really good news. Another thing that you've got on this harness is a chest loop. So you can use this harness with a double-ended lead to help give you a little bit more control so that when you're training your loose lead walking, you can use this as kind of an emergency brake when you need to. You don't get any of that with a pulling harness. So that's a little bit more information about dog harnesses and why actually there are sled dog harnesses, but not all harnesses are sled dog harnesses. I hope that's helpful.